भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 3, Text number 39. Ajushta Gramya Vishaya. Ajushta Gramya Vishaya. Ajushta Gramya Vishaya. Anapatyau Cha Dampati. Anapatyau cha dampati. Anapatyau cha dampati. Na vavrathe apavargam me. Na vavrathe apavargam me. Na vavrathe apavargam me. Mohitau Deva Mayaya. Mohitau Deva Mayaya. Mohitau Deva Mayaya. Ajushta Vishaya. Anapatyau cha dampati. Navavrathe pavargam me. Mohitau Deva Mayaya. Ajushta Vishaya. Anapatyau cha dampati. Navavrathe pavargam me. Mohitau Deva Mayaya. Ajushta Vishayau. For sex life and to beget a child like me. Anapatyau, because of possessing no son. Cha, also. Dampati, both husband and wife. Na, never. Vavrathe, asked for any other benediction. Apavargam, liberation from this world. Me, from me. Mohitau, being so much attracted. Deva Mayaya, by transcendental love for me. Desiring me as your beloved son. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Being husband and wife, but always sonless, you are attracted by sexual desires. For by the influence of Deva Maya, transcendental love, you wanted to have me as your son. Therefore, you never desired to be liberated from this material world. Kindly repeat. Being husband and wife, but always sonless, you are attracted by sexual desires. For by the influence of Deva Maya, transcendental love, you wanted to have me as your son. Therefore, you never desired to be liberated from this material world. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Vasudeva and Devaki had been Dampati, husband and wife, since the time of Sutapa and Prishni, and they wanted to remain husband and wife in order to have the Supreme Personality of Godhead as their son. This attachment came about by the influence of Deva Maya. Loving Krishna as one's son is a Vedic principle. Vasudeva and Devaki never desired anything but to have the Lord as their son. Yet, for this purpose, they apparently wanted to live like ordinary grihasthas for sexual indulgence. Although this was a transaction of spiritual potency, their desire appears like attachment for sex in conjugal life. If one wants to return home back to Godhead, one must give up such desires. This is possible only when one develops intense love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, Nishkinchanasya Bhagavad Bhajanonmukhasya Param Param Jigamishor Bhavasagarasya. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhyalila, chapter 11, verse number 8. If one wants to go back home, back to Godhead, one must be Nishkinchana, free from all material desires. Therefore, instead of desiring to have the Lord come here and become one's son, one should desire to become free from all material desires. Anyabhirashrita shunyam, and go back home, back to Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us in his Shikshashtaka, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmanishvare bhavatad bhaktirahaytuki tvai. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. One should not ask the Lord to fulfill any materially tainted desires. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Mande Shri Gurum Dina Karanam. Once I was visiting Jaipur for some work. I had gone from Vrindavan to Jaipur. I was staying at the temple. And the devotees there, they told me that there is one very interesting devotee couple. So we want to take you to their home. Why don't you come and join us? I said, okay. What is there? Going to home and meeting some devotees. So the devotee took me to this couple, husband and wife. They were a little elderly. The man was working in a bank in some senior position. Almost, I think, about 58 years old or so. In another 1 or 2 years, he was going to retire, as far as I recall. Something like that. And wife was also in the banking field, and both of them were in the house. When we went, they were very happy to see devotees. They ushered us in, made us sit in the living room, and they started talking to us. Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai. So I saw in their house, as soon as I entered, on the walls, they were lined with, the entire house was lined with pictures of Krishna. Paintings, pictures, deity pictures. Every wall was adorned with pictures of Krishna. Paintings, pictures, photos, etc. And then they took me to their house. They had a small puja room. In that also, they had many photos of Krishna, and I think they had one Laddu Gopal or something like that and all that. And then, so we also paid our obeisances, and very nice. We were very happy. And then while talking to them, that husband and wife, they were telling us that they did not have any children. So they said when they got married, naturally they also wanted to have children. They tried for children, but somehow their karma, they could not have children. And when they realized that they would have gone to all doctors, you can expect all that. They would have gone, taken so much advice, so many things they did. But somehow they remained childless. So when they realized that they are not going to have child, they are going to be like this only, they decided that Krishna is our child. So from that day, they have collected wherever they go, they collect different pictures of Krishna. Whole house is adorned with Krishna's pictures. Krishna is our son. That's all. Like that. Very nice mood they had. So it was quite a, interesting thing to see how normally people, when they desire to have a child, but they don't have children, they become frustrated, they become depressed. These people were not like that. They were very happy. They said, we have accepted Krishna as our child, and every day, we are happy to, to take care of him. We feed him every day. We, give him fruits, milk, all these kind of things, offering in the altar. So we are taking it like we are taking care of our child, like that. So very happy couple and very, interesting, this one. So the Jaipur devotees, they had come across this couple somewhere. So they thought it will be interesting to introduce me also. So that's how they took me. Anyway. We are seeing how we are now discussing the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which describes the advent of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna appeared about 5,000 years ago, approximately, maybe in the year 3226 or 3227 BC. That's, more than 5,000 years ago from now. Now, Krishna, when he appeared, we all know because of Kamsa, Vasudeva transferred Krishna to Gokula, where Krishna grew up as the son of Nanda and Yashoda. And when Krishna was growing up, his childhood pastimes were very captivating. Although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when he was a toddler, just beginning to walk, Nanda Maharaj would ask Yashoda Mai, "Oh Kanhaiya ki Ma, oh mother of Krishna, your son will only play all day, or can he do some work also?" And Yashoda Mai will reply, "You tell what you want, you see how my Krishna does." So so Nanda Maharaj would reply to Yashoda Mata, "Can he bring my slipper? You tell him, let us see." And then Yashoda Mata would call, Kanhaiya, where are you? Your father wants his slipper. Take and go. So Krishna will come slowly walking, and he will lift the slipper. And because he's still a small child, no, it is very heavy for him. Now, how he has to take it? He will take it, keep it on his head, and go to Nanda Maharaj and give it to him. And Nanda Maharaj will also embrace, "Oh, my dear son, so nicely he has brought my slipper." Like, can you imagine? Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is carrying the slipper of Nanda Maharaj on his head, and he is giving to Nanda Maharaj. These were the wonderful pastimes of Krishna in his childhood, very captivating. And that is how even today you see, people are really enamored by the Balya Leela, childhood pastimes of Krishna, because no other avatara has ever displayed such wonderful, captivating pastimes. And then Krishna, of course, grew up like this. When he was 10 years and 6 months old, then Akrura came, and Akrura took Krishna and Balaram to Mathura. And having been sent by Kamsa, and Kamsa had organized that big Mela where he wanted to kill Krishna in various ways, Golaya, Peda, elephant, and all the army, and then Chanura, Mushtika, all these people. But Krishna and Balaram very quickly, very easily, they killed all of them, vanquished all of them, and Krishna killed Kamsa also. And then after that, what happened? Kamsa had imprisoned Vasudeva and Devaki. So Krishna and Balaram, first thing they did after vanquishing Kamsa was to go to the dungeons of Kamsa and release Vasudeva and Devaki. And after releasing Vasudeva and Devaki, Krishna and Balaram, because Vasudeva and Devaki are their parents, they bowed down to their feet. And when Krishna and Balaram bowed down to their feet, The reaction of Vasudeva and Devaki is described by Sukadeva Goswami in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavata. Probably, I think Prabhupada has not given the purports for that, so we may not come across that verse. But Sukadeva Goswami describes that Devaki Vasudevascha Vijnaya Jagadishwarau Krita Sambandhanau Putrau Sasvajate Na Shankitau. Devaki Vasudevascha, Vasudeva and Devaki, Vijnaya Jagadishwarau. They knew that Krishna and Balaram are the proprietors of the whole universe. Jagadishwarau. They are the controller of all the universes. So when Krishna and Balaram, Krita Sambandhanau Putrau, their two sons, Krishna and Balaram, when they bowed down before Vasudeva and Devaki, what was Vasudeva and Devaki's reaction? Shankitau. They became greatly afraid. Krishna and Balaram, Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are offering us obeisances. And thinking like this, na sasvajate, they did not embrace their children. Normally what happens is parents, if children go and bow down to the parents, what will happen? Immediately they'll pick them up and they will embrace them. That's a natural reaction of parents. But Vasudeva and Devaki, when Krishna and Balaram bowed down before them, they said, oh, Krishna and Balaram, Supreme Personality of Godhead. They were also folding their hands and standing like this. Na sasvajate, they did not embrace them. But then Krishna and Balaram, when they saw, oh, our parents, they are in some other world, they got up and they embraced them. And then, okay, they started normally relating with them as parents and children. So you see the contrasting dealings between Nanda Maharaj and Yashodamai and Krishna, and Vasudeva and Devaki and Krishna. Both of them, Nanda Maharaj and Yashodamai, are also parents of Krishna. Vasudeva and Devaki are also parents of Krishna. In the case of Nanda Maharaj and Yashodamai, they are telling him to carry the slippers on his head and bring. And Krishna is doing it also. In the case of Vasudeva and Devaki, when Krishna or Balaram are just bowing down, they are folding their hands. Krita Sambandhanau Putrau Sasvajate Na Sankitau. Out of great veneration. This is a clear, distinction between the love of Nanda Maharaj and Yashodamai and that of Devaki and Vasudeva. Vasudeva and Devaki, their heart was filled with awe and veneration. Aishwarya Bhava. They were always conscious of the supremacy of Krishna and Balaram. Whereas Vasudeva and Devaki, they were so absorbed in love of Krishna, for them it did not matter whether Krishna is Supreme Person or not. Even if Krishna is Supreme Person, what is there? He is our son. That is their thinking. So for them, it doesn't matter what Krishna is, it doesn't matter for them. Because of their intense love for Krishna. And actually, you will see in this today's verse, how, and I think the previous verses also, Krishna has appeared before Vasudeva and Devaki, and he is describing how Vasudeva and Devaki in their previous life as Sutapa and Prishni, they had undergone austerities for how many years? 12,000 celestial years they underwent. In the previous verses it is described. And when Krishna appeared before them, they prayed that we want a son like you. And today's verse, Krishna is saying, Ajushta Gramya Vishayav Anapatyau, because they were childless, Dampati and as husband and wife, they wanted Krishna as their son. How? Why? Because Mohitau Deva Mayaya. They were, by the influence of Deva Maya, transcendental love, they wanted Krishna as their son. Of course, they could have asked anybody else. Because they were childless, they could have gone to Shiva, they could have gone to Parvati, they could have gone to anyone. But no, they came to Krishna. So, Prabhupada is making a finer, subtler point here. The difference between Vasudeva and Devaki, the parenthood of Vasudeva and Devaki, and that of Nanda Maharaj and Yashodamai. Vasudeva and Devaki, they wanted a child. Their desire was to have a child. And they said, let us pray to Krishna and get him as our child. So it was their desire. It was not Krishna's desire originally. So For the sake of fulfilling their desire, they prayed to Krishna. You see, those two, I spoke to you about those two, the husband and wife in Jaipur. They had a desire, the couple had a desire that they wanted a child. When they could not get a child, they decided that Krishna is our child. So they wanted to fulfill their material desire to have a son, and they approached Krishna for the fulfillment of their desire. This is devotional service. There is nothing wrong in this. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita in the 7th chapter, Arto jijnasur artharti jnani cha bharatarshava chaturvija bhajante mam sukritino Arjuna. That 4 kinds of pious people surrender to Krishna. They approach Krishna. Artaha, one who is in distress. Artharti, one who desires some benefit. Like this husband and wife, they wanted a child. And so they approach Krishna. Then there is the jnani, one who is in knowledge, and jijnasu, one who is inquisitive. These are the 4 classes of people. All these 4 classes of people are sakama bhaktas. They have some desire to fulfill, and that is why they are going to Krishna. Although it may be so that they have some material desire to fulfill, still Krishna says, Udara yevaite. All of them are to be considered broad-minded people, because they have not gone anywhere else. They have not gone to any devata, but they have gone to Krishna. So, to become a sakama bhakta, to become a devotee of Krishna for the sake of fulfillment of some material duties is also devotional service, but it's not the highest. Higher than that is pure devotional service. Now, in the case of Vasudeva and Devaki, they wanted Krishna as their child because they wanted to serve Krishna as a father and mother. So, they are not having a material desire. They are having a spiritual desire. They are pure devotees. But still, they have some independent desire of their own. They want Krishna to become their child. And that is why Prabhupada is saying in the purport, instead of desiring to have the Lord come here and become one's son, one should desire to become free from all material desires. Prabhupada is speaking of an even higher position. That is how you see Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva. Vasudeva and Devaki, because they had a personal desire to fulfill, they had to undergo so much austerity, tapasya. Why do people undergo tapasya? When they have a desire to be fulfilled. And they undergo the tapasya. By doing the tapasya, they please the Supreme Lord. And when Supreme Lord appears before them, they ask, we want a benediction from you. What do you want? I want you to become our son. This is how Vasudeva and Devaki approached. So they had their desire. Therefore, to fulfill that desire, first they have to please Krishna. Without pleasing higher authority, you cannot go and ask for something. Just like you see, we were also in our youth, at home, when we were at home. Suppose you wanted something from your parents, like, I wanted, when I entered college, I wanted to buy a two-wheeler. I wanted to have a two-wheeler. Now, whom will I go? I don't have a personal source of income. I am a student. I have to go and ask my father only. Now, I cannot go and demand him like that. I have to go sit with him, talk to him, do some maska, make him feel happy, little praise him. And when he's in a good mood, at that time, one small bike I want. Can you please buy for me? Then father will say, okay, theek hai, I'll buy you. It's like that. Anything you want from a superior person, you have to first please the person. You please the person, then you ask, your benediction will be fulfilled. So similarly, Vasudeva and Devaki had a desire. And so therefore, they had to undergo austerity. And by that austerity, tapasya, they pleased Krishna in the form of Prishni and Sutapa. They pleased Krishna. And then they asked for the benediction and Krishna gave. Okay, you want me as your son? I'll come. In the case of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai, what happened? In the previous life, they were Drona and Dhara. They did not undergo any austerity. Why? Because they had no personal desire. If you want to fulfill the desire of Krishna, you don't have to undergo any tapasya, isn't it? You just go and ask Krishna, Krishna, what do you want? I want to do some service for you. Please tell me what you want. You don't have to undergo tapasya. On the other hand, if you have a desire, you have to undergo tapasya. You have to please, and then you have to ask for the benediction. In the case of Drona and Dhara, they simply approached Brahma and told, please bless us that our mind may always be absorbed in the childhood pastimes of Krishna. This was their request. This was their prayer. They did not undergo any tapasya. And Brahmaji also said, he blessed him. And because he blessed him, Krishna decided, I have to bless them with my childhood pastimes, and Krishna appeared as their son. They did not ask for Krishna to become their son. They only said, our mind should always be absorbed in the childhood pastimes of Krishna. We should always remember Krishna, never forget him. This is a far higher standard of pure devotional service than Vasudeva and Devaki. Vasudeva and Devaki are also pure devotees, not that they are not pure devotees. But in pure devotional service also, Ananya Bhakti is of a very high standard. Kevala Bhakti or Ananya Bhakti. And the Brajavasis actually displayed the ultimate, the pinnacle of Ananya Bhakti. That is why you will see the Brajavasis are glorified by everyone. Brahmaji himself is a pure devotee. Brahma himself is a pure devotee. That Brahma, he glorified the Brajavasis. When after the Brahma Vimohana Leela, Brahma submitted many prayers to Krishna to please Krishna, because Brahma was feeling that I have offended my Supreme Lord. So better I go and pray to him and please him so that I don't get any reaction. So he, in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, there are all those wonderful prayers of Brahmaji. One of the things that Brahma says there is, Esham Ghosha Nivasinam Uta Bhavan Kim Devarateti Nascheto Vishwaphalat Phalam Tvad Aparam Anya Kutrapi Ayan Muhyati. Brahma said, Muhyati, I'm bewildered. Why am I bewildered? Esham Ghosha Nivasinam. Ghosha means the village people. Ghosha Nivasanam. These people who are living in this village, he is referring to Braja, Vrindavan. These Brajavasis, they are villagers. When I look at them, Esham Ghosha Nivasanam, all these villagers, meaning villagers means they are all common people. They are not very highly advanced. They are not very, highly educated in scholarly in Vedanta and Upanishad and all that. They are not great rishis. They are simple village folk. Ghosha Nivasina. Esha Ghosha Nivasinam Kim Devarateti Nascheto. My mind, Muhyati, my mind is getting bewildered when I see them. Why? Why are you getting bewildered? Vishwaphalam. So he said, Oh Krishna, you are the one who gives all, you satisfy all the desires of all the living entities in this universe. And you are also the maintainer of everyone. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kama. That's what the Upanishad state. Krishna is the one person who is maintaining all other living entities. Isn't it? So Brahma is saying, Vishwaphalat, you are the one who maintains the whole universe. Now, phalam, what phala, what benediction will you give to these Brajavasis? When I think of that, I'm bewildered. Why? What is the problem? Krishna is maintaining the whole universe, and for him to give benediction to anyone is not an issue at all. Why should Brahma be bewildered of what benediction he will give to the Brajavasis? Because he says that yad dhama artha suhrit tanaya priyatma tanaya pranasaya stvat krite. These Brajavasis, they have dedicated their everything for you. Their dhama, their houses, artha, all their wealth, their tanaya, their children, their priya, all their relatives, atma, their own bodies, prana, their life, asaya, all their heart, soul, everything is dedicated for you. They have no desire independent of you. They have no desire of their own. Who is saying this? Brahma is saying this. Why? Because Brahma himself is a pure devotee, but he also has a desire to serve Krishna in some big way in the material world. That's why he comes to the material world. Otherwise, why should he come here? So Brahma has that little independent desire. So he knows his position, and when he looks at the pure devotees of Braja, feels, my God, what is their standard of pure devotional service? They have no desire. Their homes, their wealth, their children, their relatives, their friends, their life and soul, everything is dedicated to Krishna. So even that may be so. What is the difficulty in Krishna in reciprocating the Brajavasis? Shri Krishna Balaramaki. So Brahma says the problem is that Putanapi sadveshadiva Putanapi sakula tvameva devapita. He said, Brahma said, problem is that before the Brajavasis, there was one person who came in the form of a gopi. She took the form of a gopi and came, Putana. And before her, after her, her brothers also came. Bakasura, Aghasura, all these people also came. And they all came what? With the intention to kill you. But Putana, when she came to kill Krishna, because she was coming into Vraja, nobody should notice her, she took on the form of a gopi. She dressed like a gopi and came. And Krishna, when he saw Putana has come in the form of a gopi, Sadveshadiva, like a gopi, she dressed. He was not a gopi. She dressed herself like a gopi and came. When Krishna saw that the dress of a gopi, what did Krishna do? Krishna gave himself to Sakula, to Putana, and to her brothers. Krishna handed himself over to her. So Brahma said, you have given yourself away to Putana and her family for her kula. Then what will you give to these Brajavasis? So Krishna gave the position of the mother to Putana. She became the nurse of Yashodamai in Goloka Vrindavan. So Krishna gave himself away to Putana. Then what benediction will he give to the Brajavasis who have dedicated their everything for Krishna? Putana came simply because she dressed like a gopi. Krishna gave himself to her. Now these Brajavasis have actually given their everything to you. What will you give them in return? When I think of this, my mind gets bewildered. So this, you see, who is speaking this? Brahma. He who is a pure devotee himself. He is the, he's the secondary creator of this whole universe. He is the Acharya of our parampara. And he is a pure devotee. And when he sees the Brajavasis, he's getting bewildered. I'm not able to, I'm not able to assimilate this standard of the devotional service of the Brajavasis. So therefore, the standard of devotional service of Nanda Maharaj and Yashodamai, although they are in Vatsalya Rasa, is full of Vishramba. It is free of any awe and veneration. Yashodamai will catch Krishna. She will tie him to a wooden mortar. Nanda Maharaj will take Krishna and tell Krishna to bring his slipper. All these things they will do. There is no awe and veneration, no respect. Whereas Vasudeva and Devaki, although they are also parents, this one, Bhava, is full of Aishwarya, with awe and veneration for Krishna. So, and Prabhupada, what is the standard of devotional service? Prabhupada taught us Ananya Bhakti of the standard of the Brajavasis. And that is why Prabhupada is saying in the purport, therefore, instead of desiring to have the Lord come here and become one son, to have a desire like that, Prabhupada says previously that to have such a desire is a Vedic, it is sanctioned in the Vedas. Vedas, Prabhupada said. Loving Krishna as one son is a Vedic principle. It is a Vedic principle. Nothing wrong in that. It's also devotional service only. But Prabhupada is saying, if one wants to go back home, back to Godhead, one must be nishkinchana, free from all material desires. And Prabhupada is saying, desiring to have the Lord come here and become one son is also a material desire. You see how Prabhupada is bringing out such wonderful, very fine points in devotional service. Actually, this is a characteristic of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. You will not find this in any other Sampradaya. This kind of fine distinction, the distinction between Vasudeva and Devaki and Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva, you will not find this kind of distinction in other Sampradayas. But in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, especially, you will see this. Why? Because all the Acharyas and the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya are coming from Goloka Vrindavan. They are not from Vaikuntha. They are from Goloka Vrindavan. And because they are coming from Goloka Vrindavan, they are fully cognizant of the standard of Ananya Bhakti which exists in Vraja, in Goloka Vrindavan. And so they speak from that perspective. They want every soul, conditioned soul who is getting liberated to come to that platform of pure devotional service. Only if you come to that platform, you can go back to Goloka Vrindavan. If we don't come to that platform of Ananya Bhakti like the Brajavasis, what will happen? Your maximum you'll reach Vaikuntha. You'll not go beyond that. Okay, you may go up to maybe even Mathura, but to go to Goloka Vrindavan, it is a completely different standard of pure devotional service that you have to achieve. And which is what Prabhupada also taught us. Prabhupada himself, what is the standard of pure devotional service Prabhupada displayed? When Prabhupada was going to America in that Jaladuta, Prabhupada wrote the poem. And he wrote in that poem that, Krishna, I don't know why you are bringing me to this land of Mlechas and Yavanas. Will they understand the message of the Bhagavatam? They are all meat eaters. What will they understand? But anyway, you have brought me for some purpose, so I am going. So, Prabhupada is not going for his purpose. It's very clear. Prabhupada is going for Krishna's purpose. Pure devotional service, right? So, when you are going for pure devotional service, suppose any of us, we are going out, we are thinking that, okay, I want to go and collect this money. I want to approach this donor. I want to collect money to build a temple for Krishna in Navavrindavan Dham. What is our intention? We don't want money for ourselves. We are not thinking of sense gratification. It is for Krishna. So when we go to the donor, what is going in our heart? The heart will be palpitating. We'll be nervous. Big man. Somehow I have to convince him. I have to get the check. I have to get the money. And you go inside, talk to him and all that. You get the check and come out, you'll be very happy. You don't get the check, when you come out, what will happen? What to do? Today, that day, I could not get this one. You'll be fully depressed, isn't it? But you look at Prabhupada. Prabhupada is also going for the purpose of Krishna. Prabhupada went to the US not because on his personal desire, but because his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, ordered him to preach in the West. Prabhupada is going for that. Prabhupada is going to fulfill his spiritual master's order, and Prabhupada is going to spread the message of Krishna. So Prabhupada has no personal desire. So Prabhupada could have prayed to Krishna, Krishna, I am coming here to fulfill the order of my spiritual master. And I am coming to the West, to the US, to spread your mission, your message. So please make me a success. Bless me to become successful in this endeavor. Prabhupada could have prayed. But what was Prabhupada's prayer? Krishna, make me a puppet in your hands, make me dance, make me dance, make me dance, make me a success or a failure as you wish. Prabhupada had no desire to even become a success. Prabhupada is saying, if you want me to become a failure, make me a failure. I'm ready for that. I'm ready to dance as per your tunes. See, this is the level of devotional service Prabhupada displayed. And Prabhupada wanted us also to come to that platform, because only then we can go to Goloka Vrindavan. Otherwise, we'll get stuck in Vaikuntha. And Prabhupada has not promised Vaikuntha also to us. Prabhupada is promising Goloka Vrindavan. And that is why everything that Prabhupada introduced, Prabhupada wanted that standard to bring us to that level. In fact, in the Nectar of Devotion, it states that those who are engaged in the worship of the deities of Radha and Krishna within this material world, when they get liberated, they go back to the spiritual world, to Goloka Vrindavan, and in Goloka Vrindavan also, they will enter into the Madhurya Leela of Krishna. This is what Nectar of Devotion states. That is why you see Prabhupada everywhere. Prabhupada established Radha Krishna deities. And Prabhupada also said, the kind of worship I have instituted and the kind of dressing that I have introduced is of the Kaishora form of Krishna, which is the original form of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. When is Nava Yavvana, just entering youth. From Kaishora is going into youth. That age, how Krishna and Radharani dress themselves, that is the kind of dressing I have introduced, Prabhupada says. So Prabhupada wanted us to worship Krishna. Worship Krishna Balaram, Radha Krishna in that form which Krishna displays in Vrindavan. Not even Krishna Balaram in Dwaraka. Krishna Balaram are there in Dwaraka also. Prabhupada did not introduce that. The kind of dressing you see Krishna Balaram here or in Vrindavan, Krishna Balaram temple is there. The kind of dressing Prabhupada has introduced, even the dressing to that degree of finesse, Prabhupada has taken care so that by worshipping them, our mood will always be of Vraja. And so finally, when we leave our body, if we are thinking of Krishna and Balaram in the Vraja mood, or we are thinking of Radha and Krishna in that mood, we are remembering the deities, the kind of dressing we have seen and the form we are seeing in the temple, we quit our body thinking of that. That form is the form of Radha Krishna or Krishna Balaram in Goloka Vrindavan. We'll go directly there. So this is what Prabhupada has given us. This is what Prabhupada is giving us. And Prabhupada wants us to come to that stage, that standard of Ananya Bhakti, which is displayed by the Brajavasis. And so that is the kind of fine distinction Prabhupada is making here. And that is how Prabhupada is also quoting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va, jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmani sware, bhavatad bhakti rahitujitu. Not even the desire to have Krishna as our own son should be there in our heart. We don't want even that. So that means no independent desire other than Krishna's desire. Whatever Krishna wants us to be childless. Krishna wants us to be a failure. Krishna wants us to be, whatever Krishna wants us to be, we are ready. If that is what pleases Krishna, ready for that. This is the standard of devotional service in Goloka Vrindavan, which Prabhupada is teaching us, and Prabhupada wants us to come to that standard. So this is what we can understand from today's verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we'll stop here. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.